estate boy, and today we're going to be talking about home equity and a source of strength for homeowners today. I know a lot of people are in maybe not the best situation in reference to their home. COVID hit a lot of people really hard. So we're going to be talking about the foreclosure market today. Okay. So experts definitely agree that there's really no chance of a large scale foreclosure crisis like we saw back in 2008. Okay. And that's actually good news for the housing market. Now we have the chief economist at First American, this guy named Mark Fleming. What he said was that don't expect a housing bust like the mid 2000s as lending standards in this housing crisis or this housing cycle have been much tighter, and homeowners have historically high levels of home equity. So there likely won't be a surge in foreclosures. Now, if I can take you guys back a little bit to 2008, that's back with the countrywides when people were just kind of lenders were writing. If you could breathe, lenders were writing you a loan. And so there was a lot of loose, all right, let's put it like that. There was a lot of loose lending standards out there. They were just giving out loans to anybody. We really don't see that this go around, okay? And homeowners also have historically high levels of home equity in their loan, all right? So we probably won't see uh, a foreclosure surge like we saw back in the 2000s. But even though the volume of homeowners at risk is very, very low, there's still a small percentage of homeowners who may be coming face to face with foreclosure as a possibility today. And those are the people that I want to talk to. If you're facing difficulties yourself, it could help to understand your options. And that's my whole point for doing this video blog today, is to let you know what your options is if you're facing foreclosure, right? And it starts with knowing what foreclosure is. All right. So let's start there. What is foreclosure? Now, it's defined as typically default is triggered when a borrower misses a specific number of payments. So, foreclosure is the legal process by which the lender attempts to recover the amount owed on a defaulted loan by taking ownership of and selling the mortgaged property. So, when people start missing payments, what happened is the bank will start the legal process, which is the foreclosure. And a lot of people don't know this, but a foreclosure is a legal process. Like you go to the courts, that's the same thing the banks do. They go to the court and they put in a petition, and they're basically suing you to get the property back, number one, so they can recover the money that they're owed. Okay. Now, here's the good news. Here's the good news. The good news is that there are alternatives available to help you avoid going through the foreclosure process. All right. There is help out there. Sometimes when you talk to the bank, they're just like, give us the money, give us the money. And that's just kind of it. No, there are alternatives for people out there. Number one is reinstatement. Number two is loan modification. Number two is deed in lieu of foreclosure. And number four is short sale. Okay. But now, before we go down those paths of what all of those are, because I just want to hip you guys to what they actually are. But before we actually go down those paths, it's worth seeing if you have enough equity in your home to sell it and protect your investment, because that home is your investment. All right. So you may be able to use your equity to sell your home. Now, let's define terms. What is equity? Equity is the difference between what you owe on a home and its market value based on factors like appreciation. So, say you bought the home for $100,000, and now the market value is $200,000 because of price appreciation. So that means the equity that you would have in this home is $100,000. Now, in today's real estate market, many homeowners are far have far more equity in their homes than they realize due to price appreciation. I mean, we've seen over the past couple years. So according to CoreLogic, the total average equity per borrower has now reached almost $300,000. Okay, and that's the highest in the data series. So since they've been taking data, the average, and this is average, so it's national. Okay, but they're saying that the average homeowner has $300,000 of equity in their home. So what does that mean for you? If you've lived in your house for at least a couple of years, a few years or more, chances are that you, for because of home value and your equity, because it's risen so much, okay, that you may have a lot of equity in your home. In addition, the mortgage payments that you've made during the time have kind of chipped away at that balance of your loan. So if your home's current value is higher than what you owe on that loan, to you may be able to use that increase to your advantage. Okay, and that's one of the things that's really what we want to talk about. Now, it's this executive vice president at market intelligence. What he said is that very few of the properties entering the foreclosure process have reverted to the lender at the end of the foreclosure. And I quote, "We believe that this may be an indication that borrowers are leveraging their equity and selling their homes rather than risking the loss of their equity in the foreclosure auction." So what he's saying right here is, this is a person that deals with the numbers for foreclosures. So when the house is going into foreclosure, I'll paint a picture for you. The person bought a house, and now, just say because of COVID, now they can't pay. So what happened is, now the lender is going to follow a case of foreclosure against that person, against that loan. But what they're finding is that a lot of the homes aren't going back to the lender, because what's happening is they're selling the property, and because of the equity, they're taking that property, and they're taking those proceeds, and they're paying off their loan. Okay, so you definitely have options. So to find out how much equity you have, you can definitely give me a call, and we can kind of sit down, or we can do a virtual appointment, and we can see, okay, what would your home possibly sell for? What's the range of what your home would sell for? And then I can give you an estimate for that, and we can see, okay, does it make sense to try to sell your home, or does it make sense for them to foreclose on it? Okay, in some situations, that kind of is what it is. Okay, so what's the next step? The next step is to, wherever you're seeing this, get in contact with it, because my contact information will either be on the screen, or it's going to be in my profile. Okay, but contact me. Let's sit down or have an appointment. Find out what your what the value of your home is, and then we can kind of see, okay, what makes sense. Does a foreclosure make sense? Does a short sale make sense? Or does selling your home make sense? All right, y'all, this is Colin Nathan Alim, the real estate boy. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, I got you. All right, y'all, take care.